tweeted the link, YouTube link.
Hello. Hello. Do I have? Yes, I do. Yes, I do have volume. Hello, and welcome to episode 198 of Nolo Time. My name is Obed Velez, and with me is the man who survived an interdimensional brain-eating amoeba, Mr. Joel Young.
Yes, I made it. No, it's been a crazy week for both of us, my friend. But
I am in pain.
We truly have, yeah, literally, physically, mentally.
It's like everything hurts.
Slightly emotionally. No, we're good. It's always a better day when you get to join my brother here, Obed, on Nolo Time, talking about things we love.
It's a good day when we get to, it's a good day when we get to talk about cool stuff. So
indeed.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about a bunch of cool stuff that happened today. Yeah. But before that, sir, without spoiling it, tell me how Shang-Chi was.
It's a hard thing to do. That's a tall task. Because I so badly want to talk spoilers. And I know that this won't be on Disney Plus until, middle of October?
3 months? Like that's what they said?
I thought they said 40 days, I thought.
Oh, 40 days, but it's going to be on the UPay thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right,
okay.
Then the standard, like they do with the other ones, like Cruella and all that good stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm going to try and be nice and not do spoilers for my friend here and for all of you guys that are listening. But I will say that comparing it as an origin film, I instantly could compare it to the likes of Iron Man 1 for 2008 and Black Panther. And I think those are two obviously very different movies, but from an origin standpoint, like you never knew who Black Panther was. You watch that movie, okay, you're in it, you fully get it. Wakanda, you believe it, whatever, right? Iron Man, you didn't know who the man in the suit was at all. You watch that movie, people love him now, right? He's a household name. I think that's what happens now for Shang-Chi after this movie. Like, he is now a Marvel household name. He is going to be a complete leader for the future Avengers. He is going to be one of the most powerful Avengers. That's for sure. He's taken a huge leap, not just stepping into the MCU, but now being a very important character for the future of this world now of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
So I'm going to ask you a question. It may be a weird question, right?
Sure.
But based on my knowledge of the comic books, which is I'm not advanced. I'm not like I'm not to your level.
I got comics sitting right next to me, bro. You can literally reach over and grab them.
Yeah. So based on that, right? Is he what Iron Fist should have been?
Very good question. I would say 100% yes. And I think if anything, this just makes Iron Fist look like, the Walmart brand, of the character. And I'm not trying to knock on the guy. I think,
on the comics, like Iron Fist is really cool.
That's exactly what I'm saying. We're talking about cinematically,
right?
Only in that standpoint. But you pick up a book, and Iron Fist is the man, right?
Yeah.
Like he's totally awesome. And Shang-Chi is also great in the comics, and his lore is pretty rich, but he just never was. I'm sorry to say it, but he was a D tier Marvel character.
Yeah.
He was super lower in the ranks of things. But now this character, forget about it. I mean, he's gonna be respected with the likes of Thor and everybody else up there. Like it's a name that will not be forgotten. You're gonna say Shang-Chi, and it's gonna be like the same way we say Iron Man. And I know that sounds crazy to some people to think about because it's like he's so new. But if this is his introduction, what all the stuff that they got planned for him is just gonna be absolutely insanely crazy. They definitely did a good job of letting us see who the real Mandarin is. They took a lot of time to make sure that we understood.
And that's not a spoiler. Like we knew that this was happening, right? Yeah. So
yeah, absolutely. And they totally not spoiling it, but they totally retconned everything with Iron Man 3 in a matter of like 2 or 3 scenes. They just completely handle it. And not only they handle it, they make us actually appreciate some of the stuff that actually happened in those movies. It's pretty interesting, and it makes that movie more appreciative actually, to some degree. And you know, the Mandarin himself is he is the perfect villain for this character for the first movie, and it's because he's not just this menacing person, but he's a very ancient person, and he has because of how they changed Shang-Chi's comic book origin and replaced the Mandarin character with another character, they set it up in a way that like it's very very perfect and not like going into other Avengers stuff, but just keeping it straight to him. And that's a difference I see between like what Marvel's done and what DC's done in some of their movies, right? Like DC
Yeah.
tries to go after like completely huge scale stuff. It's like, yeah, the Mandarin's a huge character, but somehow they find a way to ground it just to Shang-Chi's personal, his family line and his sister and all. I mean, all that's his
Yeah.
aunt. I mean, the whole yard. And that's the same thing I saw with Black Panther, right? Like Black Panther, like is very contained. It's not, you're not watching that movie and you're thinking of Captain America or
No,
something
correct.
bigger, or
Correct.
you're
Yeah.
just focusing on Wakanda.
Yep.
So I'm not, and
That's
I
cool.
want to
That's cool.
say stuff, but I don't want to spoil it again. What can I say without spoiling it? There's a lot of things I like about this movie, right? I love the action, some of the best choreography in all of the Marvel hand-to-hand combat action scenes that we've seen. I mean, Russo
Better
brothers.
than Iron Fist.
Oh well,
Again, I'm
that's
just joking.
oh,
I'm
Iron
joking.
Fist is like this is like times 10 what Iron Fist did,
Oh
dude.
man, I don't know. I
Um,
was so disappointed. Like I
yeah,
started. Like I don't know if I told you that I watched the first episode on season 2, and I haven't gone back. And it was like 2 months ago.
you know, it was one of the worst fights with that whole Netflix cinematic world. Was what's her character's name that was supposed to be the main villain in the Defenders? Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
Elektra.
No, no, no. Well, Elektra ended up being the main, but at
Yeah.
first it was a different. What's her name? Famous
Uh.
actress. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver's
Yeah.
character,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Can't remember her name. She says
Yeah.
a lot, right? Anyways, remember she was like supposed to be the big bad. Do you remember how
Yeah.
like literally she goes toe to toe with Elektra in a matter of like 3 moves she's done?
Yeah.
Do you remember that scene?
Yeah.
Like it's so bad. Like
It's very
it's so
disappointing.
cheap, dude.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Man.
back to Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
The fighting is so good. Like there's when you finally get to the underground scene, and I won't go into it, but when you get to the underground scene, it's hard for me to say between the underground scene and the bus scene. And you'll know when you see it. Between those two scenes, it's hard for me to say which scenes have better fight sequences because they both are so good. There's other great action scenes throughout the movie, but those two scenes in particular are just absolutely crazy. There's a lot of great humor. Aquafina does a great job keeping us laughing throughout. A lot of cultural references that I think a lot of people will find very charming because it's done in a way that's very fun, I would say.
Cool.
And then the things that I didn't like about the movie, right? So the biggest thing that stands out to me, man. So the movie's called Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. It's not just called Shang-Chi, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the two main the main characters of the movie is really split in two. It's Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. Those are the characters of the movie that are what the whole thing's about. That's it. Shang-Chi nailed it. Ten Rings, gotta be honest with you, man. The Ten Rings as a group, okay, sure, another terrorist group.
It was like the Flag Smashers and
yes,
yeah, Falcon Soldier, yeah.
Right, kind of like that, right? So it's like, okay, sure, cool. I mean, they're a threat. Don't get me wrong, they are, but it's like, okay, another grunts. But the real disappointment is the physical rings themselves. And I know when we literally had to jump off of watching on ESPN or whatever when they debuted the trailer and then ran into recording the podcast. I remember that night when the first trailer for Shang-Chi had come out. And I remember one of the first things I had said to you was like, they're not rings, they're bracelets, right? So, okay, that should have been fine.
Yeah.
If you still make them work the same way the rings do. And I don't want to spoil it because I'm trying to keep myself contained. But if you're expecting a comic book representation of the rings, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but there's not even close to anything that we see what they should be able to do in the comics. It's just powers,
Okay.
if that makes sense. And I don't want to go into much, but it's like that was one of the bigger disappointments. I'm like, if people look at the rings and they're going to be watching this and they think that's the facts of it, as a comic book fan, it's kind of disheartening because it's like not even close. But there is end credit scenes. There's two of them. Won't go into it, but there is one of the end credit scenes that sets up what I believe what could be a retcon for that. Could be could be me reading into it. It is kind of mysterious and it's intentionally left that way for us to kind of like most Marvel things where it's like, ooh, does this mean this is going to happen or that's going to happen?
Okay.
They always do that on purpose, but if it is something that hopefully fixes the rings, I'd be very happy to hear that. But yeah, man, that's probably one of the bigger things I'd say from the disappointing. But there's so much more that I enjoyed about it.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you this, dude, but I enjoyed the movie so much. I went out and saw it twice this weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, I found the time and was able to get out and see the movie twice.
Really?
I was like, I gotta go out and see this
That's
movie,
good.
and yeah, that's gotta be telling you guys that it's a good movie if that's the case.
Yeah. Well,
I
absolutely.
look forward to when you get to see it. We can get into a deep, sweaty conversation.
Yeah,
Please,
yeah.
guys, stay away from spoilers because it's the kind of movie that if you see too much, it's not the kind of mysterious movie. It makes sense. You follow piece for piece and scene for scene. It flows very well.
Yeah. Cool. On my end, I finished Demon Slayer. That was good. Those last 3 episodes were more of a wind down more than anything. It was more of last 3 episodes were set up for season 2, basically. Especially that last episode. There was some really good character development, character exploration in there, so I like that. But it's setting up a big fight, and for season 2, and maybe the fights in the movie. I don't know. I haven't watched the movie yet, so maybe that's something that happens in the movie. So maybe I have to go and try and watch that before season 2 starts. So finish that. And watch. I know that there was a few months ago there was a big like Mobile Suit Gundam drop on Netflix, and they put the newest movie, Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway, and I watched it, and I wanted my hour and a half back because the animation was great, voice acting was fine, music was good. Like visually, it was good, right? But talk about a movie that nothing happens, bro. It's like this whole build up, and then there's a little bit of a plot twist that you can see coming a mile away, and then 5 minutes of a Gundam fight that's in the dark and you can't see the Gundam. So it's like, what the heck is this, bro? It's like compared to like Unicorn Gundam, which was fantastic. Like every like action sequence on Unicorn was excellent. So I went in looking for you, and I was disappointed. So I know that I think there's a new Unicorn movie out. I haven't watched any of them. I think there's 3 of them, I want to say. But I know that the actual series, I watched it. I actually started watching it again on Netflix because I've had watched it on Crunchyroll a few years ago, 3-4 years ago maybe. And I really, really enjoyed it. Like I said, it's like every action sequence was great, man tears, and I was like, oh, this is great. But I haven't watched the movie, so I'll probably try and go out of my way to catch those. But yeah, dude, that movie is like I was expecting stuff, and there was like 2 action sequences, and they were one of them was fine, and then the big one was awful. It's like, what the heck is this, bro? So very, very disappointed. Very disappointed in that movie. But Joe, unlike IGN, I really enjoyed this week's episode of What If. So IGN
what did IGN rate it at?
5. Sounds like that's what I said. Unlike IGN.
I think it was the best episode, but not a 5.
Oh yeah, I mean the Guardians episode still
I was
like
gonna say the T'Challa
mind-blowingly
episode's still
good.
the best.
Yeah.
And the Peggy episode was also
really
really
good too. Yeah.
Doesn't mean
really
the other
good.
episodes are bad. I'm just saying, like, if you're comparing it, right?
Yeah,
but it wasn't.
It wasn't
It wasn't
bad.
a
Like,
5.
I was engaged. Like, I was engaged, and what the story or what they were trying to say, right? Um, because they did a lot of character exploration in this thing, and it was very interesting to see how different all of them reacted to the zombies, right? And I found that very interesting, especially Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man is the heart of this episode, basically. And like, zombies, right? It's mindless. It's gonna be action packed. There's gonna be a lot going on. The twist was good. I think overall it was a good episode. Yeah, like you said, it's not a 6. Like, it's at least like a 7.5 in my book. You know, or not a 5. I'm sorry, like IGN did. So, what I found interesting on this one again is that, hey, the Avengers are zombies now. I guess we gotta kill the zombies and feel nothing. That was weird. And like the only one that really felt something was Spider Man, and that I think that was like a big like character study on Spider Man and how, when he's talking to Hope and Hope tells him, and it's like, how do you manage? It's like, oh yeah, I just watch movies. It's like, no, how do you manage to always be this like upbeat and have this positive outlook on stuff? It was great. Like, I think that all the Spider-Man stuff was really good. I don't know if this cliffhanger endings are amassing to anything. Like, this one was cool, right? It was nonsensical because the stone that they took he had in the gauntlet, right? So it was weird. Like you can tell that sometimes these endings are also what if endings, and they're not really like super connected. So, but yeah, what do you think?
Speaking of the endings, let me just jump right into that too, because I had seen a commercial or something for What If a couple weeks ago, and it had I don't want to. I saw it as like this definitely kind of spoilery, but like I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Like it basically was a recreation of the battle in Wakanda from Infinity War, which is what we see is
Mm,
kind of seems like what's being set up
yeah.
for like the end of that last episode.
Yep.
And the only difference was that same evil Doctor Strange that we saw was physically there fighting with the Avengers, specifically T'Challa, who was Star-Lord ish at that role. So I don't really know what to make of it. Like to your point, like I don't know how if they're gonna try and do some kind of blend of all worlds at the end or something. I don't know where they're going, and that's fine. I don't need to. It really doesn't matter that much. That's the whole point of it. It's what if, right? But yeah, I do think that they made the right decision to not just make this um oh, we're just gonna just have zombies here and it's just gonna be a few characters. Like they show a lot of characters making sacrifices. They show a lot of characters just straight up gone.
Yeah.
And it can feel like a diminishing hope, and yet the watcher makes it clear like it doesn't matter what universe or what's going on, these guys still find a way to move on and find a way to somehow restore what is trying to be taken. So yeah, I love, of course, you know how I feel about Spider-Man. I love that with Spider-Man. One thing that still gets me kind of really weirded out, like I never understood this with the more recent MCU stuff. They don't know how to handle Hulk, man. I'm sorry to say it, but they
Yeah.
don't know how to handle this character. It's
But
like they don't know how to make him just a big, tough, muscle guy, and
yeah.
he's so much more than that.
Yeah, he had because this episode follows Infinity War very closely,
Yeah,
so he had the same problems that Infinity War had with Hulk, right?
right,
So,
right.
and I think that was done on purpose, right? I think maybe eventually we'll get something more. I think the best Hulk we've gotten is Ragnarok, honestly.
Yeah, I no, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Of recent MCU, I still
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Ed Norton's Hulk
Oh
was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
fantastic.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like that was fantastic,
That's
and
underrated
that's
for sure.
super
Yeah.
underrated.
Yep.
So like I don't know why they don't know how to just make him this absolutely powerful beast that still has a charm to it. Like they just kind of hold him back. It's strange.
Yep.
Like he basically just hulks out for that one thing, clears the path, and he's gone. It's like whatever, okay.
Does it the
But
one thing? Yeah.
Yeah,
The whole
but
vision thing was really good though.
the
The
vision
like
thing,
he's following the most
dude.
logical path. Like he's like, yeah. That
Ooh,
twist was good. It's
yeah.
brutal. It reminded me of is it oh man, there's a zombie thing that's like that. I think it's either Walking Dead. No, it's not. Yeah. Was it
I didn't
Walking
watch
Dead?
Walking Dead.
I can't remember if it was Walking Dead. I think it was the Resident Evil 2 remake that has a scene sort of like that. Not gonna spoil it just in case anyone really wants to play it. But like the eventuality of that is like that person making the choice of ending it, right? Versus here, Vision is like, no man, it's like I don't wanna, and the most logical path it was to keep everyone away, and you guys now are interrupting my plans, so you guys suck. So
Man,
yeah, that was crazy, and also to know that he could remove the gem himself is yeah. So
now how funny was it seeing the Paul Rudd Ant-Man head?
that
Oh,
dude,
then he
that
gets the
remind
cape with him.
when
It's so
bro
great.
when I saw it, it reminded me. Did you ever see Mars Attacks, the movie? It's a
I don't
'90s
remember.
movie. Jack
Oh
Nicholson,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I know what you're
with
talking
the
about. Yep.
Martians like, "Wah, wah, wah." Yeah. So yeah, so it reminded me of that where they
Hilarious.
put I think it's like Joan Cusack or something, and they put her head in like a jar like that, and she talks and put her, yeah, something like that. But yeah, that they reminded me of that, and it was funny, and he was good. He was funny, like he was being Paul Rudd, is like making dad jokes and everything. Yeah,
Yep.
it was good. It was good. Yeah, it was funny. Again, I don't know. I honestly I don't know who at IGN is in charge of doing those reviews, right? And I don't know. I mean, it's happened before where IGN would put someone that either doesn't like that sort of thing to review a game, like we saw when God Hand for PS2 came out, and the game got like a 2 or something, dude. And it's
Wow.
an awesome action game, and it's fantastic.
And other outlets
And just
give
be
it better reviews.
yeah, oh that well, IGN was the only one, yeah.
Right. So
Uh,
there's something fishy.
yeah. So like and then the other one was the Double Dragon. Do you remember that Double Dragon Neon that came out on PS3? I
Yeah.
think that game got like a 4 or 3.5 or something like
Hmm.
that. Dude, that game was actually a lot of fun. Like it's no Streets of Rage 4, right? But you know, it's not a 2. It's at least again like a 7.5 at least. So there's 7. I would give it a 7, right? I wouldn't. But
Yeah.
come on, dude, like a 3
Hmm.
or 2.5 or whatever. No, man, it's crazy. So I honestly I don't know. Like this person probably just likes Oscar bait drama movies and they don't like the Marvel stuff, right? There maybe
Oh, it's
oh
pretty heavy,
maybe
man.
maybe it's the Scorsese
Oh.
for
Oh my
IGN
goodness.
Marvel stuff is like
Scorsese
I
is the
effing hate
secret
it.
reviewer.
This is not cinema. This sucks. This is not art. Yeah.
Oh man.
Scorsese under a pseudonym, just making IGN
Right?
reviews.
He's secretly he works for IGN. Oh
Exactly.
my gosh. Oh man.
Could you imagine? Oh man. Well, we got a lot to talk about. So yeah, that was it on What If. Bro, that Matrix trailer.
Whew.
If you guys have, okay, so I know Path of Neo is one of your favorite game ever because you mentioned it in when we did our favorite games episode.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that you're well versed and
Yeah.
experienced with the Matrix, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm not the biggest fan of the actual movies. It's not, but like I've totally seen them. I'm well aware.
Yeah. Um, this looked really good. Like as someone who saw all 3 movies in the movie theater, this is really good. It's really good. It's really good, man. It looked fantastic. I see because here's what I thought, right? I thought that this was going to be that they were gonna pull like a Halloween, and this was gonna be a sequel to the first one, and not count 2 and 3. but this is clearly a sequel. This clearly takes place, you know, at least 20 years after the last movie. So it's showing you that, right? I thought it was phenomenal. The choice of music was awesome, right? And I'm sure that Jefferson Airship or Airplane or whatever it's called, the band that does that song, is like, would they change the name to Starship or whatever it was? I know that they're gonna get like 1 million hits on Spotify like this week or today alone, man, because people are gonna be looking for it. Yeah, so I like it. I like it a lot. I'm in 100%. Visually, it looks stunning. I am very excited. It looks like this is them basically saying, yeah, we're going to explain the ending of the third one, because, like, even to me, and I've watched it a few times, it's still ambiguous, right? And it's like, why are they taking the body? What are they gonna do with it? Clearly, they plugged the body back into the Matrix. What happened to Trinity's body? Clearly, they probably plugged her back into the Matrix too, just to keep him like in sync, right?
Right.
So there's those things. I want to see what the end thing is here, because you do see that the humans and the machines are working together to some extent, and they're not, like, humans versus machines is not the thing anymore. There's something else happening, and I want to see what's that. Also, I'm pretty sure that there's gonna be like the first one, right? Not so much on the second one and third one, but the first one was really like a, and I've seen this analogy used by some like conspiracy theory people, like the blue pill and red pill and whatnot. But like the first movie was like I don't want to say anti-government thing, but it was like, hey, things are not as you think they are. There's more stuff happening behind the scenes that you're not aware of. That sort of thing was the first one. I'm sure, dude, that this one's gonna be like a social media thing. It's like, oh, it was like people are getting absorbed in this thing, and that's their Matrix now. Now they're really plugged in with their eyes. So there's probably gonna be like a political, social political metaphor in there somewhere. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, man, what do you think?
You pretty much did a great breakdown of that trailer, sir. I don't have too much to add to it, but I definitely seeing the way that they kind of redid the Morpheus character, having in this new actor.
Is he Morpheus or is he his son? Is it a construct?
I know
it's a machine construct.
He represents the same thing, but is it him or is it not? Like, it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of questions in, which is good. I mean, that makes you want to watch the movie, right? By having these questions. And there's a lot of scenes in the trailer here that are parallels to the original Matrix film too. There's like him kneeling down, with the guns pointed at him the same way, right? Like, the sacrifice was made, and
the fight,
the fight, and the black cat, representing the first time. It's like, oh, I recognize something's off.
Deja vu,
yeah. So, like, there's a lot of really cool references to that. I love seeing that, we're getting the Matrix with obviously advanced technology, because technology has advanced since movie making back then. Like, you will go watch those movies and they definitely look very different. We didn't get any more slow-mo dodging bullets, but we did get him go ahead and catch you.
Well, I mean, if you guys weren't around when the first Matrix came out, it was a big deal. Like, it was a big deal. Like, visually, like, nothing like that had ever been done on a technical level and on a storytelling level, because they really took it to the next level with, question reality. This whole metaphor, government thing they had going on. It was like nothing like that had ever been done, and it was, thought provoking and eye candy at the same time. It was phenomenal. So.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
people took it very deep. I mean, it really hit people in an interesting way. And the whole idea of, taking a pill and basically becoming woke, like that's
Yeah, yeah,
base
yeah.
like it's kind of like that, but not the way you might think in the modern
Correct.
day. It
Yeah.
meant a whole much more of a different thing.
Yeah.
And yes, like you're saying, like people have tried to take that now for different reasons, but I think this movie will yet again try to like to your point a bit, try to bring another fresh perspective on the whole idea of eye opening and everyone falling in the same kind of system, falling in the same kind of order that everyone else doesn't see it that way. They don't
Yeah.
see what's really going on and who's really controlling the cards here and running the show that everyone's plugged into.
Yeah.
Why is it called Resurrections? Is it that he's trying to bring back like Trinity?
Well,
I don't know. Like,
there
is that the
there's two
same?
things that really stand out to me with I have one theory
Yeah.
and a couple of things that stand out to me. There's a scene where you can see that he's plugged in, right?
Yes.
And you can see his eyes are burned. So like what he like when Smith burned his eyes in the third movie. So it clearly is him, right? The thing is that every time that you see him and like his I guess house or apartment is like a luxury apartment. Um, I think that when again spoilers for a almost 20-year-old movie for the
Right.
third one, right?
Right.
So at the end of the movie, the Matrix needs to be reset, and basically with that reset, Neo creates sort of like a new Matrix code with his quote unquote sacrifice. Um, when the movie ends and the Oracle's having the discussion with the architect about, it's like, oh, what are we gonna do if this stuff happens? It's like, well, I guess we'll find out, right? Um, I think that as a as gratitude, Neo's body was still alive, and the machines plugged him into the Matrix, and they made him like rich. Because on the first one he hated his job, he was poor, like his apartment was crap, and this one he's every time you see him in his place, like in the bathroom and whatnot, like you can tell that he has money. So maybe it was like, oh, we just plug him in and give him money as a as gratitude almost, and we'll plug in you know Trinity's body and we'll figure it out, right? Maybe that was the machines thinking, but clearly the machines want to keep him subdued because of him taking blue pills. So they don't want him to be this disruptive thing. They want him to be part of the ecosystem.
Right.
So that was interesting. Also, Priyanka Chopra's character, I'm betting that that's Sati, the girl, and
Oh,
she grew up and now she's the Oracle. That's my theory.
probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
how do you think this movie's gonna perform, man? Considering the trailer's awesome, don't get me
people
wrong.
are hyped, bro.
People are hyped about it, and I'm like, there's a large generation of
Yeah.
people who have never seen these movies. I
Nope.
was watching one recently with one guy where he's like watching with his girlfriend for the first
Oh
time.
yeah,
Like, yeah,
yeah,
you got to
yeah,
see this stuff. I don't know, man. Like,
yeah.
what's the response? They got till December 22nd.
22nd, yeah.
So, people got time to go back and rewatch
Catch
these
up, yeah,
things. But I'd be very curious to see. This
yeah,
could be big for a resurrection of a
yeah.
series.
Fun fact: The Matrix was the first DVD I bought. Yeah.
Wow.
Fun fact.
New tech. You had to
You
get
want
in that DVD. You had to get in that DVD
you want
player, man.
my second one was the Street Fighter animated movie.
Were you
The
running these on your PS2?
the Japanese, yeah, PS2, man. I used it on
Yep.
PS2.
That was your DVD player.
Yeah, that was my dude. Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, we had another one right back then. We had there was a JVC DVD player that we had. It was gigantic, and yeah, it did the job though. It was good. It was good. Good piece of hardware.
Compact
It looked very premium for a DVD. I think it was like $400 back then. It was pretty expensive. But yeah, I'm excited for sure. I am 100% in. I really like what I saw. I'm hoping not to be disappointed, but because again, but at the same time, like visually and what they gave us on that trailer was excellent, and I am very excited. So, are you excited, Joel? for Marvel properties on the PS5.
Oh my goodness. My head's like exploding with I mean, we just had the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Then we get this thing happen today with Spider-Man 2. You know, the Venom reveal on that. Yeah, Wolverine. I mean, dude, we're gonna get into this now, but I mean, my head's just spinning with all of this amazing concept. As long as all these things follow through, which so far things. I mean, I haven't played Guardians, but it looks good. And we'll get into it now. But
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I guess this is probably the first time in a very long time that we're actually going to go through the entire list of what was revealed, because
you have to.
Bro, what was last time when we talked about Microsoft was like, hey, Halo and Captain Jack Sparrow thing on Sea of Thieves and Starfield's coming to Xbox, and that's it, right?
No, PlayStation 1, dude. There's no way around it.
See, here's the thing, right? I don't want to be a chill or a Mark or whatever.
As right? You wear the hat.
As I wear the PlayStation hat. Again, I think the Xbox Series X is a really, really good piece of hardware, as was the Scorpio or Xbox One X. That said, it's just that no one like, you can tell me something about, and I just don't care. Like, tell me about anything Bethesda, I don't care about anything Bethesda does, dude. Like, now I'm saltier now that that Bethesda actually bought like Arcane and all this stuff, and now that's part of that's the thing that gets me, right? But like, they're big like Elder Scrolls and all this, in Fallout and all this, like, it's not for me, right? It doesn't call me, so it is what it is. Forza is cool. Yeah.
Is that gonna make you buy a console? You're gonna go buy an Xbox?
I can
Forza?
get Game Pass on my PC.
Right.
I'm not gonna buy an Xbox. So that said,
they backed themselves into a corner.
So, and I'm saying this because there's a Spanish show that I watch. Yo Soy Un Gamer.
Okay.
And I like the main two guys, like Iga and Hambo. I like them, right? But they sometimes bring up these other guys to do the reactions with them. And there's like, bro, they didn't show nothing. It's like, bro, I had to comment. I had to go in. I was like, bro, are you insane? Are you kidding? It's like, oh yeah, like, we saw this and we saw a remake and a remaster, and that's remake and bro. It's like, I just don't know, right? And I really enjoy their show, right? But they sometimes bring these guys that are just like, what the heck are you talking about, Xbot? And then, honestly, bro, I don't. It gets me, because like, I don't want Xbox to fail, right? I want it to be a decent competitor.
It's not about that. Yeah.
It's not exactly. It's not about that. But when you tell me that's like, oh, the Game Pass is gonna rule the world, and this thing and this other thing and this other thing, that, oh, and Halo, it's like, dude, you're gonna get a game. You're not gonna get single player in December. You're gonna get multiplayer, and who knows when single player is coming. Like, that's gonna be a worse release than Street Fighter V, honestly. It's like, you got arcade mode when it came out. Imagine that. So that's the thing, right? I'm not putting down the product. I think it's an excellent product, and it's an excellent choice. If you're out there and you see it and you're looking for one of these new consoles, pick it up. Yeah, exactly. My problem is when you come out and say, it's like, well, there's nothing that interests me. And it's like, well, what do you have on the other side that interests you? Well, Halo. That's it, right? And, because KOTOR's not coming to Xbox. It's coming to PC, but it's not going to be an Xbox, right? So let's start with that.
That was how they started kicking off the show.
That was a big drop, bro.
I did not see that coming right away.
This is one of the games that I don't expect to be exclusive to PlayStation, because this was an Xbox exclusive back in the day.
It's right? True.
And now, the Knights of the Old Republic remake is coming to PS5 and PC.
How good is that remake gonna look, man?
It's gonna look phenomenal.
That's gonna be really a huge upgrade compared to where that thing is.
Yeah. Um, I'm hoping that it catches my eye because I want to say it was a few months ago that I was talking about Knights of the Old Republic, and I said it's like, oh, I don't like. I know it has a great story and everything, but I don't feel like the game is engaging enough for me to actually pick it up on like an old console or on PC. Maybe this will turn me over. Maybe they'll revamp the combat or something. So, regardless, it's exciting. A lot of people are hyped for it. So, yeah, short teaser. But what do you think, man?
Yeah, like I said, I didn't see this being the way they started the show, but it was a great reveal of, hey, this is coming to us, this is coming to PlayStation, and like I said, because it's being a remake, that's my biggest question, like how much of a remake are we talking here? Like, because that I mean,
Oh no, this is from the ground up for
this is a
sure, for
straight
sure.
like yeah, it has to be because I'm like
Yeah.
PS5 and where PCs are right now are nothing compared to what the
Oh no,
OG
bro.
Knights of the
Yeah.
Old Republic was,
Yeah.
and I don't think it would fly. I don't think it would do well at all if it's anywhere
No.
like what it was because it
Hmm.
just was a different time. It's fine. It's fine.
Yep.
You don't want to place it that looks like Age of Empires back then, on your PS5.
It's
It's
like
not gonna be a good
RE4.
time.
Yeah, like RE4.
Yeah,
Like RE4 was one of the better. I mean, if not the best looking PS2 game, honestly.
yeah,
Um, between that and probably Final Fantasy 12, but if the PS4 version looks nice, right? But it's still the PS2 version. Just it's
exactly.
uprest and it's running at 60, right? It still looks good. Like you can still
Yeah,
play it today and it holds up great, right? But what would it be with ray tracing and real time lighting and high 4K textures and all this other stuff, right? It was like mind blowing. So you got to build them from the ground up. So this is like completely unrelated to BioWare and everything. So just need to see gameplay on this because this was a teaser basically. So
yeah, yeah. Teaser
um,
indeed. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I mean, I don't really have much more to say about it, but I just can't wait to see basically like to your point, like when it's a remake from the ground up, what does that look like for this kind of game? What does that feel like? What do you change from it? Because combat's got to be thought of. It can't just be that it looks pretty. There has to be some gameplay elements
yeah,
that have been evolved and changed as well with this new generation, this new era.
yep. After that, we saw Project Eve,
Yeah.
which I told you I was like, oh, this game has me written all over it. And it's made by a Korean studio, and it looked really good. So it's basically a character action game. Think Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, and Vanquish, like all rolled into one with a female main character. Yeah, it was bananas. I like it.
Yeah.
So I'm very much looking forward to seeing more of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. When is the date for this one? Do you remember?
No
Or what
date.
year? No
Uh,
date, nothing.
no date. No.
Okay, yeah, because was one of those games again that had a really strong intro. First time seeing anything like this, and obviously that's what we just were referencing before, right? The Xbox PlayStation debate that fans love to have. A lot of the discussion is around like, okay, yeah, but don't worry, these exclusives are coming, next year, right? So 2022 already is going to be pretty stacked for PlayStation. Obviously, we don't know the date of something like this, and there's several games we'll talk about that are like 2023 and that sort of thing. But
Yeah.
um, from what we saw from this game, definitely is one to keep on your list.
Yep. Um, I'm gonna leave that for the end. The Tiny Tina's Wonderlands look good. This is basically a fantasy-based Borderlands. Yeah, it looked fun actually. So it looked a lot of fun. Looks like it's gonna be keep that sort of same Borderlands.
Well, allegedly, yeah,
Mhm.
it is a spinoff allegedly. So
Yeah, yep. That one has a date, March 2022, March 25th. Um, yeah, it looked fun. Like it seems like it's gonna keep a lot of the humor and the gunplay and whatnot from Borderlands. So it looked interesting. Let's talk about Uncharted. The basically all the games are coming, right? Or no? Is it no? It's Thief's
Well,
End and Lost Legacy.
yes,
Okay.
Legacy and Thieves Collection coming to PS5 and PC. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty big because those ones, I don't know how that goes with the whole backwards compatibility thing. With I have yet to actually even try that with any of my Uncharted games.
It's probably gonna run
um,
the pro version.
so exactly,
Yeah.
basically. But I never got to play the Legacy. I never got to play that one.
Lost Legacy. I heard
So
that was really good.
just for that reason, I'm an Uncharted guy already. But just for that reason alone, I'm like, yeah, I'll pick this
Yeah.
up.
Early 2020, early 2022 for that one. We saw a trailer for Rainbow Six Extraction, formerly known as Rainbow Six Quarantine. That had to be renamed, of course. Also, it seems like they changed the what used to be sick people slash zombies to more of a mutants thing. Like, that there was definitely a change in when it comes to like the game design. So, that's coming out January 22nd, 2022. Um, and yeah, it's looks like it's going to be another Rainbow Six experience. I know that those games have a very robust fan base and they're very popular online. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, we saw more gameplay and I guess a full trailer for Forspoken. This is the game from Square Enix that the Final Fantasy 15 team is doing. So there's different teams in within Square Enix internally. The Final Fantasy 15 team is doing this. I think the Final Fantasy 14 team is doing 16. So uh, yeah, we saw a trailer for this. This looks really good, man. This game looks really, really good. Fast paced action looks beautiful. Looking forward to seeing more. They said spring 2022. I told you summer when we were live chatting during the event because more than likely if it's Square Enix, it's probably gonna be delayed at least a month. So that's how they roll. But yeah, what do you think on this one?
No, that was another one that I I've watched it and I was like, this is an Obed game. Like I
Oh
know
man,
you, bro.
it
So
is. Yeah.
I was curious to hear your reaction on it. Like I mean, this is gonna be a very common theme, guys, by the way, for this thing, but like they didn't have any losers for this this
No man. I
presentation,
mean, the
man.
biggest
Some
losers,
are
bro.
yeah,
The biggest loser is GTA 5
GTA.
getting
And we would get
re-released.
blasted on the internet just for uttering those statements, calling
No,
GTA a loser. We're not
uh,
fans of it. We're not
but it's
haters,
not.
but
Yeah, it's not that it's not a loser, right? Because
you
it's
can't.
what the second highest selling game ever, and they made
Right,
like $2 billion a year on online.
right.
Like it's not. We're calling it a loser because it's like, oh, it's a game that came out on the PS3 that's came out again. That's coming out again
Right.
for PS5. So
The
yeah,
game that just
that's
keeps
what it
getting
is.
re-released.
Exactly. That's what we mean. Yeah. But yeah, yeah. No. Oh, yeah. I'm really looking forward to Forspoken.
Yeah, for
So
sure,
spring
for sure.
2022. I'm keeping that on my radar. By the way, I pre-ordered Horizon, the deluxe edition.
Oh, nice, nice,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, because the deluxe came out on. It came with the steelbook, and like an art book and something else, and it was like $10 more versus like the regular version for PS5. So I went ahead and pre-ordered that one. Um, yeah, so Forspoken is probably going to be another one that I'll pre-order. There's an Alan Wake remaster coming out. That one stayed in the Xbox 360, came out on PC, but this one's coming out PS4, PS5, Xbox, and PC. It's coming out for everything, like we mentioned before. GTA 5, Ghostwire Tokyo got an extended trailer, and I mentioned to you that there was a closed doors demo or an invitation demo for this game, and allegedly the game is really good. So I'm gonna wait it out for reviews on this one, but it looked good. Like the this trailer looked a lot better than the previous
Well,
ones we've saw.
yeah, we had joked about that before. The original one did not look that great, so this is good.
Yeah, well, the original was more of like a concept trailer, right?
Yeah.
What everyone remembers from the first trailer was Ikumi Nakamura. She was the director for the game, and then she left, uh, and then they had to like finish the game themselves. So yeah, I think this game looks good. It looks interesting, but it's another wait and see for me. Joe, I'm gonna call this another loser. Deathloop. This game better just come out and just stop advertising it. I know it's the last like Bethesda game coming out for PS on PlayStation, but come on, guys.
They're hoping to make their money on this one.
You gotta.
Man.
I
It's
know,
been a
man.
long time.
Yeah. You gotta get on the program with this one, man. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh,
Another trailer still looks very good. I'm looking forward to this game. I know that you are because this was like your game of E3.
yeah, dude.
So
I mean, that was that. They already had me. They didn't need to promote anymore. The difference is with this, we got like an actual look at what the main story is and the
correct.
cults that they're gonna be taking down essentially. And no, it's it can be. It looks like it's gonna be just as humorous as the movies, with plenty of great gameplay. Hopefully, so yeah. This as long as this doesn't end up being anything like that Avengers PS4 game, we should be just fine.
Yeah. No, it should be fine. Although Avengers, from what I heard after the Wakanda update, it's very good.
I've heard good things about that too.
Yep. So that now may be a good time to jump in. There's two smaller games that they announced. Kid Amnesia Exhibition, which is a collaboration with Radiohead. So this was very interesting. If you're into music, this is probably going to be like a musical experience sort of game.
Yeah.
And the other game, is it Kia? Something like that. It is a cartoony style sort of adventure game, exploration game. So those are the smaller games they announced. Quick update on Blood Hunt. This was the vampire game that they showed. Was it last year? Man, I think must have been last year.
Yeah.
Game Awards last year.
Okay.
I think so. That looked like a
Free-to-play
PS3
shooter.
game. I remember everyone on the chat was like, "This looks like a PS3 game." Looked
Really
good.
Really odd trailer before, and yeah, it was,
Yeah, yeah. No, this one looked actually very good. They updated the graphics quite a bit.
yeah.
That first one was rough, but this looked good. This looked kind of like a Vampire's Assassin's Creed almost.
Did yeah.
So it looked pretty good. All right, let's jump into the big stuff. So March 4th, 2022, we're gonna get Gran Turismo 7. If you're into racing simulators, the Grandpappy is coming back, and looks like it's gonna be better than ever.
Yep.
You know, all of those customization options looks incredible. Like the details, like you can see like the light bulbs inside the actual headlights. It looks fantastic. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. If you want to say anything else.
PS4 and PS5 title early next year.
Yeah.
Not very long. They have to wait for that. These are staple games for next generation. For every time a new generation of PlayStation consoles are announced. So I'm for sure this will do very very well.
And this game was supposed to come out this year. It got delayed because they added the PS4 version.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. All right, I want to leave God of War for the end, Joe. Because
I need to play it.
Because you gotta play it. But out of nowhere, Joel, we have a teaser trailer for a Wolverine game made by Insomniac. Did you have that on your notes on your bingo card?
I mean, like, where did they pull this from, dude?
Yep.
And they had a very minor tease, but a tease put together. It wasn't just like Wolverine coming. Like, no, they already have been working on this thing
Concept.
for sure. They already know what their idea is for this game.
Yep. Looks good.
What
Looks like
are they doing?
it looks like a mix of like Old Man Logan with some. It has to be a mix of like Logan and something else. Because yeah, it looked pretty good. Like it's a teaser, right? It's
I
basically a
mean,
concept teaser. But it looked like it's gonna be gritty. It's gonna be more of a mature thing versus like what Insomniac usually do, like the Ratchet and Spider-Man and whatnot. So so it looks like it's gonna be a little bit darker than what we were used to from Insomniac.
this being another one of the Marvel properties that they're now bringing to life, it just makes you ask the question, like, what are their discussions with these guys holding the rights to these Marvel characters? Like, is there discussions of them saying, like, so if we hit this one out of the park, can we do this one next? Like, what kind of deals do they have in
Yeah,
place? Makes me very, very curious
that's
because
probably what it is.
clearly they're getting they've gotten the stamp of approval after the tremendous success of Spider-Man Miles Morales at the launch of PS5 during the holidays last year. That was
Yeah.
just
So
fireworks.
I wanna say something because Spider-Man had a 2023 year on it. Spider-Man 2, right?
Yes,
And bro, Insomnia gave you probably the two best games of the year this year so far,
I know.
and and you're complaining because they put a 2023 sticker on that on the
Let
Spider-Man
them
2.
take their time.
Bro, are you kidding me? It's like making GameStar. It's like a small miracle, dude. It's like it doesn't like this is not it's not magic. You don't write stuff in Microsoft Word and say it's like make the character throw a punch and the character throw no. That it doesn't work like that, right? It's it's a lot more complicated. So realistically speaking, that's totally fine. Um, I think Wolverine's gonna be probably a 2024 game. This is
Yeah, I
still in
mean, just
concept.
literally just concept. Yeah.
Yeah, yep. But regardless, man, it's exciting, and I'm guessing this game is gonna be fantastic. So,
Will
uh,
there be any tie-in to the Spider-Man? Like, will there be like an end credits on
mm,
Spider-Man 2 that's like setting up Wolverine or something? I don't
I
know because
don't
it would not
think
shock me
so.
because
Yeah,
they are gonna use it as a platform to market their next product.
yeah, it wouldn't shock me, but I don't think so. Honestly speaking, yeah. So, I guess we'll see. But Spider-Man 2 announced 2023. Venom
Interesting that
confirmed.
they're calling it Spider-Man 2, right? Like
Yeah.
Spider-Man Miles Morales, which we all know was supposed to be DLC,
Now,
and then they're just jumping to Spider-Man 2. Like,
yeah.
okay, sure,
Well, this game was running on PS5, like what they showed,
yes,
and they
yes,
they specified that it was running on PS5. So, Joel, is this game gonna have co-op?
probably,
Yeah,
yeah, probably, dude.
yeah, man. It's probably either gonna be co-op
We
or
may have to live stream this one.
yeah, it's probably gonna be either co-op or something similar to what Guardians is doing, where
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
switch characters, or maybe you can switch characters on the fly or something, right? Something to that nature, or like kind of maybe like GTA. Because GTA 5, you could switch characters like on the fly, and one would be doing this thing, the other one would be doing this other thing, and you can switch between them, right? So maybe, one of those Spideys is down in Chinatown, and the other one's over by the Statue of
true.
Liberty, and then you can
Assassin's
switch
Creed did
between.
that with the twins at one time.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so probably something like that. And at some points, they will come together
Hmm.
to fight the baddie, kind of like what they did in Miles in the intro
Yeah.
when Rhino showed up. So, um, yeah, and of course Venom revealed. It's everyone's excited about that. So, yeah, man. And Joe, you need to play this game. Come on, man. You need to get with the
I
program because
know.
this trailer was spoilerific, bro.
That's what I was thinking.
Spoilerific.
Like, oh well, there goes that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a few things.
Nah,
It's
it's
like,
fine.
whoop.
I'm still playing.
Yeah, yeah. Play it because it's really good. Um, yeah. Trailer for God of War 2. That or God of War Ragnarok, I should say. This game also was supposed to be coming this year. Got delayed. Got pushed for next year. It was also coming out for PS4. Um, and yeah, I mean, what we saw looked like God of War. It looked great. So yeah, I'm in. Like, there's nothing else to say.
I can't comment on a game I haven't played the first one for that I've only heard great things about and is literally sitting right now downloaded on my PS5, ready to go.
Do it. It's gonna be a weekend project.
I mean, they've only given me more time, right? Like with all these
Yeah, with
delays,
the
right? Between
delays,
this and Horizon and all that,
backlog.
like
Yeah, there you
I
go.
got time.
Yeah, but no, it looked really good. It looks like they're adding more characters, of course, to the story. Great to see that Mimir is going to be back because he was the man. Like there was some moments in this game. It's like, man, this game is like silent and somber. And once you get to that part of the game where when you get to take Mimir with you, it just makes it a lot more. I guess jovial is the word. So. So good to see that the dwarfs are back, and yeah, that's good. So looking forward to this for sure, because I mean, if the first one's any indication, and if this is shooting to be better than that first one and bigger, yeah, this is that first game is phenomenal. So I should replay it honestly, because it's real good. It's worth the replay probably. So yep. Although I did some of the almost everything, like all the side stuff and the like end game armor and whatnot, the Valkyries and all that. So I did that. But yeah, strong showing, man.
I
Very very
mean,
strong.
they came out swinging. I've seen a lot of comments on Twitter from people who I didn't even know were watching this thing, and they were like, "Oh my goodness, like." I'm sorry, but
Yeah,
these guys like PlayStation just keeps running. They're putting their foot to the gas and they're ready to go. So I'm glad they held out with
yeah,
doing the showcase when they did, because it's a good way to not that there's been any doubts of why you move into these things, but it just builds a bigger base of like, hey, this is why you got your PS5, because you're about to have some experiences that you'll be telling your grandkids about.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm very excited. Like 2023 is still a year and a half, at least a year and a half away
Right.
from for us to be able to see or have this game. So 2 to 2 a year and a half to 2 years away if it doesn't get delayed. Um, but I'm very excited. And I'm just looking forward to everything that they had to offer. Like, no, I mean, not everything, right? But like their big stuff.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
like definitely looking forward to Wolverine and Spider Man and God of War.
Guardians.
Yeah, Guardians. I may even get into Gran Turismo. I don't know. Like
That-
I've been looking for a racing game, and Forspoken and Final Fantasy 16, which we didn't see. So all this stuff, man. There's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of things coming out. Very excited. So looking forward to what they have to offer next year.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's not much more that can be said, but like, I mean, like, you said things like Knights of the Old Republic, like that thing might get you on board with something
Yeah.
that you weren't there for before, because what does it have to offer? They've given us a lot of things to wet our whistle, keep us really interested. So,
Yep.
good job, guys.
No. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Joe, that's all we got. Just did a quick scrub, and we're good to go. If you don't
Absolutely.
have anything else, go ahead and plug us in.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for sticking with us for today's podcast. We're so glad to have you with us, and we want to encourage you to stay connected. So make sure you are subscribed to our podcast. We're on podcast platforms like iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify, Amazon Music. Go ahead and find us on your podcast platform. Follow us, subscribe to us. You also can subscribe to the video version on our YouTube channel. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video, share it with your friends and family. Really appreciate that. Also, you can follow us, of course, on our social media, No Load Time on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We also are No Load Time all together on our Twitch account, which we're also broadcasting to. So make sure that you are following us there. Also, we invite you to send in emails with questions, comments, feedback. We'd love to hear from you. Send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. thank you all so much. I hope you all got to check out our really fun end of summer stream
Yeah.
that we did. It was a great time, Obed. If you guys didn't check it out, Obed and I were streaming Battlefront 2 on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook. So make sure to check it out because it was a really fun time.
Yeah, it was. Looking forward to be able to do it again, sir, because
Yeah, same.
it was a lot of fun having like off the cuff conversations about movies and what they were and what they're not and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Was pretty good. It was pretty good. Um, Again, thank you guys for joining us. Like Joel said, find us pretty much everywhere, and we appreciate you sticking around. So stay safe. We'll see you again next time.